What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Lynn with the Advocates. I am coming here to talk to you all about the 2A21 free CPL program. So, where are we in the world? Where are we as far as gun safety goes? We've seen a recent rash of people buying and purchasing firearms legally, but we've also seen an uptick in people getting pulled over for CCW and getting their first felony. So the advocates, along with the Village Lansing and Black Lives Matter Lansing and Mikey 23, have put together a program called 2A21 for a free CPL for any new young people turning 21 in the year 2021. And so this is what the program is about. This program will be running all year long, as well as figuring out how we can run this into the years to come. About the program a little bit. So with 2A21, what we provide is a CPL certification that is needed in order to go apply for your CPL license. So there's extra need for them to do something after they leave our program. And so what 2A21 and the advocates would like to be able to do is to be able to take from the inception of the thought of wanting to have a CPL all the way to the card actually being in somebody's wallet, pay for that whole process. At this point in time, donations will be accepted, are needed to get this from that point to the point where they have their license. We are donating our time as far as training people. We have been able to provide ammunition for the shooting portion of the CPL class as well as the classroom. We have a need for is obviously further finances for ammunition, targets, stuff like that. But also, we'd like to get this program paid for to the point where we can again take them from the point of inception of thought of wanting it all the way to the license in their pocket. After they get our certificate, they have to go down to the county clerk's office and fill out the application, provide the certificate as proof that they went to a class, which that in turn certifies them to be able to apply for it. And then there's a $115 fee in order to obtain that license from the county clerks. So what we want to do is to be able to front load the payment so that they don't have to worry or concern about that process. And because what we've noticed through CPL training, even with adults, is they'll go through the 8-hour class and then that certificate will sit on their dresser and they'll never go turn it in for one reason or the other. Right now, we know the finances are tough for people. It's a situation, even $115 could deter them from actually going to get their certificate and then, or excuse me, their license. And then in turn, they're carrying around a legal firearm illegally. And then, this is that process where young people get caught up in and end up, a felon just because they didn't have that little piece of paper. So that's what the concern is with 2A21 is to try to make sure that we get them from the point of inception of thought of wanting the CPL, going to purchase a firearm, to the point where they have that card in their hand and have that process paid for, take as much of the burden off of the young people as we can. So given the 2A21 CPL course that we do, we still allow anybody 21 and up to come into this course. Anybody who just turned 21 last year can still come into this course and only costs $100. That includes gun rental as well as ammunition and the certificate, range time. Everything is included in that $100. So we encourage everybody and anybody who has an inclination to ever purchase a firearm to get their CPL, whether or not you plan on carrying every day, whether or not you plan on using that as a defense mechanism. Have the license. I've had people contact me who have the license that have never carried. It's just something to have. If anybody is familiar with like a motorcycle endorsement on your driver's license or getting your CDL, it's something that you just would like to have at your disposal if you ever needed it. You just don't ever know. And when it comes time to know if you need it, the time frame that it takes to get a CPL, it's pretty much too late at that point if you ever needed it in an emergent situation. So we ask that anybody and everybody who is of sound mind, sound body, get your CPL certificate, go get your CPL license, and at least have that. So why 2A21? 2A21 was born out of the idea that when young people are educated on firearms and understand the importance of the Second Amendment, they'll act more responsibly with their gun. I've been very open about my past and the things that I've been through in my life as a young person and the mistakes that I made. So if I can do something, anything at all, in order to try to help young people not to fall in the same traps that I did. That's the reason why 2A21 was created. The education that you get from this class is priceless, honestly. In Lansing, we've had multiple young people be shot by their friends on accident because they just don't know how to handle a firearm. We've had people shoot themselves on accident because they didn't understand how to handle a firearm. Through this CPO class, you will learn gun safety. You will learn how to dismantle a firearm, how to load and unload it safely. You'll learn the 3 basic rules of gun safety. You'll learn all of those things. Also, my own trials and errors, I can explain to young people and people in general why gun safety is important, but also why having a Second Amendment is important. Throughout this class, for the young folks, you'll get a lot of mentorship. You know, this is a situation where this class is 8 hours long, and I get to pour into these young people, you know, a lot of life experiences that I've went through, things and traps that I've fallen into, and give them real world experience on how not to have to fall through those traps before they do. So that's a part of the 2A advocacy and 2A21 program that we want to bring forward to the young people. Why get young people certified to carry a firearm? Well, because through history, we understand that young people do not practice abstinence of anything that they're curious about. We hear a lot of times, take the guns off the street, take the guns out of their hands. Well, unfortunately, part of our culture today, guns are a part of that culture. Abstinence will never be the rule or the way to get those things to stop. We understand that in high schools we teach sex ed, we teach drug education on what not to do with drugs and so on and so forth. So why do we leave firearms out when they're so deadly when in the wrong hands? So this is another portion of this class, is to express to young people that, you know, we understand that you're not going to not pick these things up, but when you do, this is the information we want you to know. We want you to feel safe around them. We want you to understand what the guns can do, understand how to be safe with them so that you don't have an accident and end up shooting a friend of yours or whatever the case may be as far as that's concerned. But also it's important, I think, with education, when you start understanding the Second Amendment and understand why it's important to be able to have that right, you start moving a little different. You start moving to protect that Second Amendment for yourself rather than thinking that it's a frivolous enjoyment of being able to shoot a gun off. So this is a situation where we can teach young people why it's important to keep your Second Amendment rights. If you get a felony, you lose that right. There's certain misdemeanors that you'll lose that right. And the right to be able to protect your family as well as your own person is something that we all should hold very dear. And so the 2A advocacy, the advocates in 2A21 will teach young people the importance of the Second Amendment and why it's important to try to keep that. All right, y'all, in closing, if you would like to help support this program and other programs provided by the Village Lansing, you can go to thevillagelansing.org. There's a donate button there that you can get involved either by volunteership, you can give goods and services, or donate with cash. All of those proceeds go to the Village Lansing's programming, and we are grateful for your support. Outside of that fact, if you would like to sign up for a CPO class, there are $100. You can go on to the-advocates.net to sign up. That's an all-inclusive class. All you have to do is show up. If you do have your own firearm and ammunition, great. Outside of that, it's $100 for that class. If you are a new 21-year-old turning 21 and you live in the Lansing area and you're turning 21 in this year, please get a hold of us also at the-advocates.net and sign up for 2A21. We appreciate all the support and all the further support that you all will be bringing to us. Check us all out at, again, theadvocates.net and thevillagelansing.org for more information. See you on the range.